All right, I'm back. I'm still building on this piece. Trying to decide. I think I'm going to hollow. And as usual, I didn't plan this out because I started getting this clay ready to be prepped. There's a bunch of chunks over here. Got this chunk out. I got this chunk out. I got this chunk out. I got these chunks out. This chunk out, and these little pieces that are hanging on. This chunk out. And I think I actually need to hollow, so I'm going to step away for 1 second to get a bag because this other bag full of repurposed clay is full. So I need to go get another bag real quick, right out of the kitchen, and then I'm going to come back and start the hollowing process. Hang on. Keeps me a fresh Ziploc bag. All right, let's get this table cleared off a little bit because it's looking unsightly. So let's start off with a nice, agreeable looking space. I just bumped the camera, sorry. I'll clean off my work area and have everything else looking like a tornado hit it. Because I don't know if you guys remember me telling you this, but this is an L-shaped table. So off to my right are the two joining parts. This is the small square panel, and then the other rectangular side sits on my left. So all of those look a hot mess right now. But for right now, I'm just concerned about the surface that I'm working on, so it's fine. If I start off with this looking nice, I usually feel a little bit rejuvenated, even though there's chaos to the left of me. If what's in front of me looks all right, I can find the motivation to keep going. Is that how it is in life? If you could just keep focused on what's right in front of you and your pursuit of that, sometimes those are your goals and dreams, and ignore the things that are messy and out of order to the left and right that are trying to distract you and are trying to give you the impression that everything's a mess, when it's really not. If you can lay that path in front of you, you can clean up to the left and right as you have time, but keep that area that you need to move in obstruction-free, detraction-free, negative energy-free. All right, look at that table, y'all. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the hollowing, and I gotta figure out where I'm going to hollow. You know, because you can hollow in several different places. I think that I want to hollow under the nose and around the back. That's what I'm thinking. I think that'll be the best avenue to get me where I need to be with everything. Possibly even the top of the nose to right here. I know I don't want to cut across the eyes because I put in enough work that I don't feel like having to rebuild those back up. I'm also realizing that this eye is sitting in much further than this eye is. And a lot of times you won't see things like that looking head on, so you have to get over the top and see what you're working with. Now the simple fix for that is to just pull out of here. See how easily I've gotten distracted because I saw something that didn't sit well with me, and like I told you, you'll be planning to do one thing, and then you'll spot another thing, and it becomes your obsession to fix that right when you see it. Because it's easy to move on to another area and forget that you were even desirous of changing that. So you just do it when you notice it, and that cuts off the opportunity to be led astray and distracted by other things. So yeah, this is completely hooded on the other eye, so I've got to scrape that out to make it look as embedded as the other eye is. All right, that's a lot better than it was. I can go back to focusing now. So like I said, sorry, excuse me guys. I just woke up, haven't been talking. My voice just cracked all to be damned. That may happen. I may sound like DMX's big sister right now. That will happen. My cat's trying to walk into the kitchen, so I scared him off with this rumpled bottle sound. That will happen. So I'm trying to decide if I need to approach the slice from here or approach it from here to better control not cutting into a section of the nose I don't want to cut into. Let me sit with this for a second. I just got to spin it around and think, guys. Oh, this is a wire tool with the 2 wooden edges. Ends. So I'm working that in. I've worked that in securely, so now I can just come around to the back and pull straight. All right, so you see? Pulling her real close to you so you can see. See that slice line? Right up under the nose, exactly where I wanted it. Great. I love you. He's downstairs? Yeah. Okay, have a great time. Please let me know when you reach. Love you too. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead. Booyah! Lifted her off. Gonna set her down gently on her own. And now I've got this, which is an interesting look in and of itself. Crazy. Once again, spotted something, a certain symmetry that I want that's not there, so I'm creating it right now. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the big scraper tool and just make sure to separate this from the bottom again, because I do want to hollow underneath, so this is going to be hollowed all the way through. I lifted it yesterday, so it shouldn't be stuck too hard, but when you're pressing down clay onto a surface and it's moist, it ends up sticking, so you may have to go through this a lot of times, getting your piece off of whatever platform you have it sitting on. And that's fine. All right, so I'm glad I didn't do any more of the jewelry, because as we can see, I've got to come in here. Oh, still not lifting the way I need it to. And I think I'm going to need my towel to put this on so that I can hollow the way that I need to. Let's go ahead and get that ready. All right, let's have a look under there. All right, I just sort of rocked that back into position so it can rest where I need it to. I'm going in with this tool and just compacting the clay from here, because it's been pulled up with the scraper tool, so it can end up being a little bit raggedy. My cat is crying because the boy just walked out of the door. He just doesn't know. That boy is going to be gone for 4 days. Yeah, so he's going to be heartbroken until he gets back, but such is life. All right, so I'm going to take, I can't find my needle tool, and it's really starting to bug me because I know that it's dropped around here somewhere, but the floor is so filled. Oh, I just found it while I was talking. All right, I'm getting it with my foot. There's so much clay dust and clay particles and other stuff on this rug that covers up my tile. A lot of times I'm looking for stuff and cannot find it. So this is a very thin area up towards the front. So I'm starting down considerably from that, just because I don't want to hollow in here. That area will be the thickness that I need, so I don't need to go beyond that. So there you go. That's where I want to start hollowing. And of course, this process really doesn't require any narration. I'm just gonna move this stuff out of the way because I'm gonna start having a lot of slices and shreds of clay when the hollowing begins that need to go somewhere, so they're gonna go here. And I hush now. Oh, I need to move this closer. You can't see what's going on, can you? Hold on. That baiter? That's baiter. Move this out of the way. Push this back a little bit further. All right. That should be good, right? That's good? Cool. You guys can't tell, but I'm moving very delicately. This is very bendable, this part right here. So I'm trying to just keep it braced with my hand. Not press in too much. Because again, the idea is to have this nice and level with the surface. So I'm going to have to do a lot of examination once I'm finished hollowing to make sure that I bring it back to that state. Don't dig in ridiculously deep unless you are 1000% positive that you've come up on a block of clay that has a lot of depth to it so that you won't make your clay too thin in areas and you can keep everything uniform. You don't want to go in too hard and punch in too deeply and then have to refortify it with more clay, because that's just, basically just a waste of time if you can move with caution. So you'll see me checking that with my fingers to see if that thickness is about a pinky nail width of thickness, and trying hard not to go too far beyond that. This is 609 Miller clay that I'm using. I got turned on to this particular clay by the first studio that I started out with. It's closed now, but I really like it. It just has a very smooth, putty-like feel to it that I'm a fan of. It doesn't have any granules, no little pebbles, rocks, or I forget, what's the name? I think it's called grog, they call it. I think, I'm not sure, don't hold me to that and don't laugh at me, but I think if clay has a high grog content, there's a roughness to it because there's clay particles that are hardened and rock particles and things like that, that some people love the feel of that. They love it. Me, I like it smooth, so I've been sticking with this because of the smoothness. So see all of that coming out? It's going to make it easier for the sculpture to dry because the walls aren't so thick. It's going to make it much easier for it to dry. And it'll also be lighter weight. I'm not trying to lift, 30-pound pieces, because I have to transport these things back and forth to the studio, and eventually when they get acquired, I'll be having to think about lifting these up to put them in a box for shipping and all of that stuff. And yes, I have a big 20-year-old who can assist me with that, but just like today and through Wednesday, he's not always around, and he's not always going to be around. So I have to think about what's going to be manageable for me. And 50-pound works. Can I lift them? Yeah, I lift 50-pound boxes of clay to get them to the car, but I don't like doing it. It hurts, so I'd rather not. So why not take a lot of this clay that doesn't make a difference, doesn't lend anything to the piece, out. I'm gonna hollow every time. Got distracted. Saw something underneath that I wanted to work on. I'm looking for a particular tool right now. Ah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. So I'm really comfortable with the filming process now, especially since I realized I can do it without always having to show my face on camera because I'm very self-conscious. And I love the editing process because I edit right on my phone with something called VN Editor. How did I find that? I don't know. I think I just did a Google search and came across it, and everybody was talking about it. It was very user-friendly, and it definitely is. The only thing that I do not like, this has nothing to do with VN Editor. The only thing I don't like about filming is my phone and how quickly it runs out of battery life. So I'm always having to stop, put it on the charger, and I'd really like to keep going, but after about an hour of filming, it usually ends up on about 60%. And, I can still record and keep going and just let it go all the way down and edit the videos at one time at the end of the night. That's definitely a thought. But either way, the battery still goes out pretty quickly and does not last me for the duration of everything that I want to do. So that's the only drawback, is having to put it on the charger and stop. But it also gives me an opportunity to take naps. I am a huge fan of naps. Now, today I woke up at 9:30 because I knew my son was going to be going out of town with his dad, and I just wanted to be up for him. He didn't need anything from me, but I just wanted to see him off. So I don't even know what time it is now, but I know that at some point, oh, your girl is taking a nap, okay? You could believe that. And while I'm doing that, that's my opportunity to get the phone charged back up to 100% so that I know after a quick 1 hour or 2 hour nap, I will be ready to start the next video or edit the last video, do whatever I need to do. And I'll show you in a second all of the clay that's been removed. I think I've hollowed out this area as much as I need to. I think I need to stop right here. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to approach it from the top. Now, I don't want to do this because it's just going to bend it back. So I'm just going to place my hand against the bottom and against the top so that I can rock it forward. There. I sort of had to flop that down. So will it still be level with the surface? I think so. I'm going to have to go in there and do a few clay fill-ins, areas where it lifted up, where I might be able to press down. We'll see. So this is all of the clay that got removed. Good amount, right? And like I said, it's really nice and soft. So I'm just going to go ahead and compact this now because I actually want to use this clay, like a clay piece about this size, to do a small piece that I'm going to work on while the phone is charging or in between after I've done the hollowing of this. So I'm just getting it ready. Folding it on itself. It's a taco. And you can see how right there, see, that's an air pocket. That clay is not joined. So I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just compacting for the hell of it. Just wasting time, really, because I'm easily distracted. But I'm going to take my roller pin and roll this and compact this and make sure it's nice and sturdy so that by the time I'm ready to use it, I can just go in. I'm not going to have to do any prep work whatsoever. So I started this new bag of clay, like because you watched me do it on here. And I'm just going to pop that on the top. I usually just try to press air out of it, as much air as I can. And that can happen easily when you fold over. So I just folded it over. So now we are ready to get to work on her. And I think I need to turn this slightly differently so that I can do what I need to do. So let's do that. Sorry, guys. I'm getting a little bit congested. See, what's happening is a cold is thinking it wants to settle in. But what the cold does not know is that I'm financially strapped right now, but I still have plenty of kale and spinach in that refrigerator. And I have my frozen berries. And I have, oh shoot, I might not have my oat milk. That might be done. If I have my oat milk, a green blend will get made that will help stave off this congestion, and this cold is trying to sneak up on me. Real surreptitiously, it's trying, but I see it, and I'm not allowing that to happen. There's an indentation right there that I'm not liking, not even a little bit, so I'm going to pack that with some clay. Not from the piece that I just conditioned, just another piece that's in that same bag. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to have to, if I don't have oat milk, that's probably going to be my only run for today, going to the store and getting some more, so that I can make sure that I have at least 2 green blends today. Those help stave off cold activity for me tremendously. And I mean, I see the difference like immediately. It's like I'll drink the juice and an hour later I realize I'm not congested anymore, which is really dope, because it's always great when you can see results right away. And for those of you who just want to watch the process without my rambling, this is just me sharing with y'all the thoughts that are on my mind. Not that it makes a difference to anyone, but, don't get aggravated. Just mute. You know what I'm saying? Just mute. And then you can just watch the activity without the words. Something for everyone. That's how that works. All right, so now we're going into here. Now, what I have to keep in mind, and what you'll have to keep in mind with your sculpture, is deeply concaved areas. So like Although this part is out to here, the cheeks go in considerably. This is a mouth area, so even though this will stop here, there's a lot of area out here that can be dug out. Ice Cube! There's a lot of area towards the front that can be dug out, so you're gonna have to sort of gauge that, yourself and figure out what you need to do. But what I'm going to do is create my slice with that in mind. Where did I put my needle to? Okay, I'm gonna create my line with this narrowed in area in mind. So I'm going to cut out much further than I normally would. And here, I'm able to go. My video cut off on me, and I'm not sure why, and I don't know exactly when it cut off. So I can't even really pick up from where I left off, but, not exactly. But what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling some clay out of thicker areas into an area that I went a little too close with. Not very close, but this outside finger, I was able to feel the vibration of my smoothing. And with me smoothing that gently, I should not have been able to feel that. Now, before I even knew that this finger would register the vibration, I had just done a test of the thickness of the wall like that to see that it was about this thick. And it was a little bit thinner than the rest of it, and I wasn't comfortable with it, because if you can keep uniformity, that's always best, so that thin areas don't dry more quickly than the thicker areas, because that's what causes the clay to break and pull apart. So you just don't want that. So I just went in and refortified it a little bit. I'm refortifying it even a little bit more, just to play it safe. And now I know that I have put enough clay in there because I'm doing the same amount of pressure as before, but I don't feel a vibration. All I have to do is make sure that I am compacting it carefully enough and tightly enough so that I have not just created an air pocket right there. I do not want to do that. So right now I want to stop and take a break because my nose is running and I'm a little congested and I need to get that taken care of. This is all the clay that is coming out of this part. It's not done yet. I still have to hollow out considerably there. So you saw, took a lot of clay out. More seasoned sculptors, more experienced sculptors would probably know how to mold this so that they don't even have to do any hollowing at all. Or if they do, it would be so minimal because they're going to leave the areas open that are inside. I'm not at that level. And also, I've told you guys before, I really enjoy the hollowing process. It is incredibly calming for me. I get a chance to just zone out, and aside from worrying about making walls too thin and punching through to a side, which is, if you're careful, you won't have a lot of those occurrences. So it gives you the opportunity to do something meaningful without worrying about messing up your sculpture. Am I doing the right thing? It's mindless, necessary work almost. And that's what makes it, so calming for me. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, look at the hands, I'm gonna go ahead, wash my hands, take a break, and then I will catch you in a few minutes, actually. I was about to say the flip side, and maybe the flip side means the same as a few minutes. I will catch you then. Peace.